Greetings, ladies and gentlefish, and welcome to another couple of World of Tanks games, courtesy of moi. Hello. Firstly, we are going to have a look at the AMX 5120 here, and then we're going to have a game in the WZ-132A, both tier 9, and both of these tanks are not fully upgraded. These are some of the earliest games I played in these machines. I think this was something like the second or third game I played in the 5120, and I believe the WZ game will be the first game I played in that tank as well. So, kick proceedings off with, this is the 5120, da-da. We're here on, is this Mountain Pass? I can't remember. Yes, this is Mountain Pass. It's a tier 10 game, so we are not at the top of the food chain, and as I mentioned, or maybe I haven't mentioned, I can't actually remember, my brain is slowly dying. These games, the tanks are not going to be fully upgraded. So you can see here I'm actually using the 100mm gun from the 100 at tier 8. So 232 penetration, 300 alpha damage, 6-round magazine. So it does actually mean I get more clip damage than with the big 120mm gun, but less alpha damage, longer unload time, for the magazine, less penetration, etc., etc. So, yeah, we'll see how this goes. Just having a look over here, I remember back in the day when the 5120 had some dubious gun depression. It's since been buffed to, I think it's 9 degrees on this thing. I think it's 10 on the tier 10, but don't quote me on that, I could be slightly mistaken. And basically at the moment I'm just looking for targets to unload on. Now, on the one hand, whilst I would not recommend using this gun as a regular gun, you probably want to be using the 120mm when you have it unlocked, you can catch people out with this thing. You know, when fighting the 5120, people aren't expecting you to have 6 shells, so that leads to various, for example, tracking opportunities that you wouldn't normally get with the larger weapon. So there are some opportunities here when using this gun, and we're just going to have a quick look through here. No, we don't see anything. This game takes a little while to get started. Now, these are stock games. Don't expect me to be going around ace tankering everything and like murdering all the people in the face. But I like occasionally doing these to demonstrate to people, to highlight to people that, you know what, hey, not all of us free XP through every module on a tank. I do stock grinds too. Wow, that one just bounced on the 5100. That's annoying. That one didn't bounce though. There's 264 damage and I've got 4 shells left in the mag. So when I was playing these tanks, there was a times something experience for the first win of the day event on. So when those events come round, you'll often see my stats tank, and that's because I will be playing not fully upgraded tanks with an aim to unlocking modules on them. I mean, it makes sense to me. I don't like plow hundreds, thousands of pounds into this game and convert vast amounts of free experience or anything like that. So yeah, go figure. The Pantera has just gone to a better place. Object 277 is over to our right hand side, but we're just going to first see if we can get any shots across the way, and the scoreline is 6-3. We haven't achieved a huge amount yet, but we're going to see if we can change that a little bit. We might be able to get some shots into that side of that Object 277 if he keeps backing off, a bit like that. 1, yeah. We're going for the track here. 2, 3, oh, he's on 4 health, and I put the last one in, but unfortunately wouldn't have been necessary, and the E50M actually slaps me in the face. Of course he's firing heat, because why would he bother firing regular ammunition? It really doesn't matter in my case, he'd pen me either way. But yeah, there is that, and we're reloading our magazine. So of our 6 shells, we've penetrated 4 of them, we're up to 1145 damage so far. However, our team has, well, the enemy team, let's say, has pulled this back a little bit, which is a bit concerning. Almost reloaded the magazine. I'm going to see if I can do something about that 50M. Not sure if I'm going to be able to find an angle. Scoreline is 7-7, 7-8, as our team just melts away in the sunlight. Not quite able to find a shot here. Yeah, it's not really going to work. Okay. So, how else can we approach this? Well, there's the Object 705 over there as well. Our Object 277 is getting a jolly good hard slapping in the face. He's kind of overextended. I mean, the 277 whilst not a bad tank by any stretch of the imagination, does not have the raw armour that some heavies have. However, their Object 705 appears to be a little bit distracted, so I'm going to put shots into this guy, hopefully tracking him into the bargain. Frustratingly, that one doesn't actually penetrate, which is going to be quite annoying in a moment, as you will see. There might have been a shot from him that's flubbed, not sure. Last shot in the magazine leaves the guy on 269 health. If that one shot hadn't bounced, that magazine would have killed him, which is kind of irritating. And now I'm reloading. Yeah. Having said that, if I'd been using the bigger gun, I wouldn't have been able to clip that guy anyway. So, kind of swings and roundabouts. Nonetheless, reload, and our T-54 Mod 1 goes splat. There's only 3 of us left. This is not looking particularly good. Well, first things first, I mean, I've got this Object 705 and E50M. Now, thankfully, they're both on low health. And I do have a 6-round autoloader. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Object has worked out that I have the 6-round autoloader. I mean, he did just eat 82% of it. That was my quick bit of mental maths. I might be slightly out. Nope, not taking that shot. That's just not going to penetrate. Wait, and oh no, he's side scraping. That's bad. And the E50M actually slaps me in the face, which is slightly problematic. And I back off, but the M41 Bulldog is behind me. I'm running out of options here. There we go. There was the Bulldog. Take one from the 705. Put one into his lower plate to kill him. Now, this E50M is probably not going to one-shot me. As it is, he goes off early. The E50M has a relatively long reload. And there we go. He is done. And I decide to relocate and go for the reload on the magazine. Now, the M41 Walker Bulldog was last spotted on the bridge. There's only actually 4 of them left and 2 of them are artillery, so this is not lost yet. But, well, you can argue about whether I'm going to make a mistake or just be in a sticky situation in a moment. You'll see what I mean. So my rationale is the Bulldog was last spotted on the bridge. They've got an ML2 who is taking on our T110E4. I really need to help the T110E4. If the 2 of us work together, we should hopefully, or we might, be able to take this down. Now, I was expecting the Bulldog perhaps to be around here. I thought the Bulldog might try and whip around the side of the E4 after he'd fired at the ML2. That's what I was expecting. And so I'm ploughing on here, trying to get the ML2 in the bum. I've got 600mm shells for him. That would be nice. However, the Bulldog didn't decide to play ball. Now, he shoots me in the bum. I decide here to just plough onwards. My logic is, if I turn around to deal with the Bulldog, and that one actually misses. If I turn around to deal with the Bulldog, then I'm not helping the E4 against the ML. I thought I could get around the corner before the Bulldog killed me, and the armour on this thing's garbage, so there's no guarantee I'd bounce the Bulldog anyway, and he was on quite a lot of health. So, yeah, if I turn around, the ML could just plonk one into my backside, was what I was thinking. As it is, the E4 is able to finish off the ML, but the Bulldog just slams in, and, well, artillery helps, and there we go, that is the game. So I got a little bit caught out there, which is kind of unfortunate, but that's the way these things go. I didn't actually think the 5120 performed that badly in that game, especially when you consider it wasn't fully upgraded. So let's go and have a quick look at the post-game stats for this kind of depressing one. So that ended up being enough for a duelist, fire for effect, and I think that's like a master gunner or some such nonsense, whatever it is. We finished at the top of our team, as it turns out, 3,000 damage done, or 3,038, 3 kills, 548 base experience. Looking down the rest of the team, well, I mean, the T62A at least managed 2k damage, E4 did okay, Object 277 did alright damage-wise. It was just one of those games where, in certain key points, the enemy team outperform you. That Bulldog ended up doing pretty much all of his damage at the end of the game against me and that E4, as it turns out. Yeah, it's just the way it goes. Their artillery actually had a relatively good run on a map that's not that great for artillery. 2k damage from the M40, M43, and 2.6 from the GW Tiger. So, shout out to those two. 15 shots fired, 13 hits, 11 penetrations for that damage count. 7 hits received, because it was a light tank, a lot of it. 6 penetrated, 1 did not, but it wasn't bounced by our armour, it was just blocked by tracks or something. 4 enemy vehicles damaged, 3 of them destroyed, just under 3 kilometres travelled. And even with a premium account, that wasn't a particularly big profit. Looking back on that game, mistakes I made, maybe I should have turned around to try and deal with that bulldog. It's a little unfortunate, although even then there was no guarantee that he would have actually bounced on the armour on this tank, which is what I was thinking at the time. You know, there's no point turning around because he'll still go through. And maybe I took a little bit of unnecessary damage, like I ate a shot from the E50M trying to get a kill on the Object 277 that didn't even come. And yeah, I probably didn't need to. I could perhaps have been a little further back. I hadn't realised he was going to poke around, but yeah, c'est la vie. So far, my first impressions of the 5120 are, it's alright, it fixes some of the issues I had with the 5100. And I could see the 5100 had a lot of potential, but things like the gun depression did frustrate me, and it does fix that issue, certainly. Anyway, let's have a look at the second game. Here we go then. I promised the WZ-132A Tier 9 Chinese light tank, and you may immediately notice that this looks remarkably like the WZ-132 at Tier 8. And that's because it basically is. I mean, the stock 132A is essentially a slightly more sluggish 132. Yay! So, bear that in mind. I have a 100mm gun with about 190 pen, 250 alpha damage, and kinda dodgy fully aimed accuracy. First game here, we are top tier, so we're in a Tier 9 match in our stock Tier 9 light tank, and we're just going to see what we can do. Now, a couple of points. I'm going to get kinda lucky in this game, bear that in mind. It'll be pretty obvious when it happens. So firstly, I will spot all of the things. I spot you, I see you, you see me, and so on. Let's all go and kill Barney. So we've spotted a good chunk of their team, sorry, but that doesn't stop our VK exploding in a giant fireball as the standard B just blats him in the face. There's a Charioteer, T-44-100, and I decide that discretion is the better part of valour. Thankfully, the Charioteer is using the small gun. That's definitely a hit from the 20-pounder. So instead of losing 390 health there, I only lose 223, which is something. Even worse, he could have been firing Hesh, which would have shaved off potentially like 500 hit points. But as it is, I just take a 20-pounder shot to the face. Now, I've only got a little bit of assistance damage so far. This game isn't off to a particularly encouraging start, but, you know, we're just going to see how this goes. So, I'm going to have a ponder and a faff around, and we're here, sorry, I should have mentioned, we're here on Sand River, of course, which is a map I actually quite like to have in my light tanks. I mean, preferably light tanks that have some gun depression. This thing is Chinese, so not so much. But I still quite like to have it in my light tank. So, AMX 1390 there. I think he's going for a bit of a hero run, trying to get behind people and pew them in the bum with his 4-round 90mm autoloader. But I'm able to put one shot into him, and I'm just coming around the side here to see if we can make sure this guy goes to a better place. And as it is, he does. It doesn't require any more assistance from me. And aiming here, and I'm going to flub this shot a little bit, and my gun depression is also going to mess with me slightly. Aiming. Should have taken this shot, but he slightly messes me up, which means that I just don't aim properly at that Charioteer. But I'm not spotted, so SU-12244, hello Mr. SU, pew! And your tank is on fire. Like I said, I get a little bit lucky at a couple of points in this game. So he just burns 317, which is always nice. Meanwhile, I decide to have my wicked way with the side of this Jagdtiger. Leave the guy a one shot, and GW Panther finishes him off. Scoreline is 6-5. Can't really find a shot on that standard B. Don't have the gun depression. Charioteer, however, pew! There we go. If I'd got that shot on him earlier on, that could be a dead Charioteer, but never mind. It's not. He's still alive. So we're just going to relocate at this point. Clearly our team has lost the fight up on the northern side of the map, so I'm going to be somewhere else before their team just goes through me like a hot knife through a chilled, solidified dairy product. Standard B, behind me there, goes for our artillery. Thank you, artillery, for being my ablative armour. People see artillery, people must kill artillery. Let the little light tank scamper away. That is fine. I will take that. So, I mean, to be fair, artillery's got so low health that he can get a kill, basically, on that GW Panther. So I don't blame him in the slightest. I think that was probably a sensible call. But either way, it allows me to scuttle away and live to fight another day, which is good. I am not complaining about that. Ooh, Revelarice. Come on, 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 come on. Pew! There we go. 242, slightly low damage roll, but I mean, with the accuracy on this gun, I actually hit the guy, so I ain't complaining. You know, I said I get lucky a couple of times. Oh no, SU-122-44. Oh, hello. There we go. The gun works in this game, which is nice. So, he becomes kill number 1, numero uno. And we're just going to push forwards here. We are winning this 11-7. There's only 4 of the bad guys left, so it looks like we should have this game in the bag. It would be nice. 12-7 as our SU-100M1 nails their SU-152. But we lose our other Chinese light tank, the WZ-131, to the standard B. Perhaps not a huge surprise. That dude is packing an autoloader. Take a shot at the IKV-90B, but nah. He is not having any of it, and he is getting out of dodge. But if we can kind of chase down the IKV, get behind him, we could feast on his 900 hit points, which would be very tasty. I like tasty. So, round the side, don't know what this IKV's doing, not paying me any attention, that's for sure. And we put one shot into him, and we're just gonna, I mean, we may not be fully upgraded, but we're just gonna careen round, and someone else puts a shot in him, allowing us to execute him. There's only the 2 of them left now, the Charioteer and the Standard B, so we're going to see if we can find them and do something about them. They're currently pestering our 87 and doing him a respectable amount of damage, which is not what I would consider optimal. Poor little 87, being bullied by the big scary kids in the playground. Standard B takes the 87 out. Oh no, and not in a nice way. Didn't even buy him dinner first. Never mind. And that just leaves us with the Charioteer and this Standard B. Now I've got a Leopard prototype with me here, but I do need to be careful. Standard B, of course, has that auto reloader, being an Italian swine that he is. Hello, Charioteer. How are you today? Goodbye, Charioteer. So I decide that, I mean, really, if I go in alone, the Standard B may well be able to kill me in a single magazine. So we do need to be a little bit careful. As it is, if we've got other people come with me, that'll be less of an issue. So, I know it may seem a little cautious, but I do not want to throw my tank away, and I do not want to throw this game away right at the end either. So just to be on the safe side, I'm just spotting this Standard B, or I was just spotting this Standard B, and I am going to go in there with allies. Our Jagd Panther knows no fear. Oh, he knows fear now. Going round the side. There's a Jagd Tiger as well, Leopard prototype, SU-100M1, and everyone apart from the IS-3 is basically closing in on this fellow. Standard B has fired. Now I know he has the auto reloader, but I'm pretty sure I will now be able to kill him before he can finish me off. And as it is, pew, there we go, kill number 4, and that is the match. Hurrah! There we go, second class mastery, fire for effect, fighter, master gunner and bruiser. Not a particularly challenging game, but you know, a nice way to start off your play of a particular machine. We actually managed the most damage of anybody on our team with 2,873, 4 kills, which was the most of anyone on our team, and 889 base XP, putting us in second place by experience on our team. Commiserations to the enemy Standard B, basically 5.8k damage, 6 kills, not enough to drag his team over the winning lines, and that really was the difference. They had the outstanding player of the match, but if you look at the rest of their team, our team was just a little more consistent across the board. 15 shots fired, 12 hits, 12 pens for that damage count. And actually almost 2,000 was from relatively long range, 1 hit received, it penetrated, it's a light tank, doesn't come as a surprise. 6 enemy vehicles spotted, 7 damaged, 4 destroyed, and 363 assistance damage, even managing to make a profit of around about 20,000 credits with a standard account, so a pretty nice game there overall. Hope you guys enjoyed that couple of games in some not fully upgraded tanks. If you did, by all means feel free to catch some of my other videos and or subscribe to my channel. And as ever, I wish you very happy hunting on that battlefield. Ciao ciao.